Hi everyone, welcome to another class. This time we're painting something more simple, but this is actually one of my favorite paintings. Just the way the colors spread or blended, and it's such a simple painting. It was such a simple reference photo. So I had to kind of come up with a plan how I would paint the clouds and then how I could have that hard edge over the top of the mountain where you see all these trees, right? So I was painting in stages and I had to paint in stages because I had to let parts of the paper to dry before I was able to paint wet on dry those trees, for example. So this is another picture of my painting once it's already dry. So of course you can add another layer if you would like to make it even more vibrant. And this is the reference photo. It's a beautiful reference photo and I right away just knew I had to paint it, so feel free to add more trees. Whenever I paint landscapes, I barely have any sketch. This is a super rough sketch, so just basically lines. Those are the lines to just guide me through where my mountains are going to be. And for the brushes, I used the round 3 as a Heritage series much softer brush, and then round 10 is a stiffer brush. So overall, like, you don't have to have all these brushes. You can just even use the round 10 and just use that pointy part to paint the mountains. And then watercolor paper, this is Arches. 8 by 10 is a smaller sheet, so it's much faster to paint on the smaller sheets of watercolor paper. These are the colors I use for this painting. Super simple. So just basically you just want to have a lighter color of the blue, which I use the peach tailor blue, then indigo darker blue, neutral tint is a gray color. And here's a screenshot of my working palette, so you always know what colors are placed where on my palette. So you want to have a flat brush to wet the background. I prefer softer brushes to wet the background because of how the brush is spreading the water, and of course it holds more water in. But then once I start approaching that mountain, and once I go over that mountain, I expand that area and add more color, I will create small blooms. That will be like the starting point for that mountain. So just for now, let's focus on the sky. I don't want to go ahead too fast so you understand everything and follow along. So I am mixing the peach tailor blue, some of the indigo, some of the neutral tint, Van Dyke brown. There's a little bit of burnt sienna, but I really don't care that much for burnt sienna in this painting. Overall, I just want to create my own shade of a gray color. And with this same brush, which is the 3/4 stroke brush, a flat brush, so any flat brush is fine. Even angular fresh would be okay if you'd like to use for this purpose. Just painting wet on wet.